Local information that makes a difference. Here's your regional weather.
On this Friday, showers mostly this afternoon. Temperatures in the upper 50s. An east wind at 10 to 20 miles an hour. New rain today between a quarter and a half an inch. Showers likely tonight. Thunderstorms in the mix as well. Lows in the upper 30s. New rain tonight between a quarter and a half an inch. Rain likely into the early afternoon on Saturday. Temperatures in the upper 40s, a northwest wind at 15 to 25 miles an hour Saturday, less than a tenth of new rainfall Saturday. Sunday, partly sunny, temperatures in the mid-60s. And for Monday, sunny, highs in the upper 60s. Tuesday, rain likely, temperatures in the mid-50s. As we start this Friday morning, cloudy skies across central Illinois. Right now in Bloomington, it is, let's see if I can get my map to load up here. It's failed me here temporarily. Let's try this one more time. Right now across central Illinois, cloudy skies. Temperatures in Bloomington at 49 degrees. It is 48 in Hayworth, 47 in Leroy and Farmer City, 50 in Champaign, 49 in Monticello, 54 in Decatur, 50 in Mount Pulaski, 48 in Lincoln, 53 in Springfield, 50 in Peoria. In Clinton this morning, 50 degrees, cloudy, feels like 45 degrees outside. Winds from the east at about 10 miles an hour, 92% humidity with 10 miles of visibility on this Friday. Get the latest in local weather at DeWittDailyNews.com.
New trucks and SUVs are coming here at Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton.
From regional radio, DeWittDailyNews.com and the WHOW app. This is local information making a difference.
Top of the morning, news time is 10 minutes after 7 o'clock. Coverage of news this morning is brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and the WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Peking Insurance agent in Clinton. At Tuesday night's Clinton Board of Education meeting, the Board of Education received an update on a lawsuit pending against the Illinois State Board of Education. Earlier this year, Clinton schools, along with a small number of other districts, filed suit against ISB, claiming they did not have the legal authority to mandate masks on students. Superintendent Kurt Nettles says a hearing earlier this week was rather uneventful and nothing was resolved.
The day for our hearing. Today was the day for our hearing in our suit against ISBE. The Attorney General's office had filed an objection to our request for a TRO. That's their job. I've seen the word and used the word and heard the word moot more times in the past month than in the last 5 years. So the Attorney General is saying that our claim basically is moot because we're not on non-recognition status, nor are we in danger of being on non-recognition status. Well, they're not really entertaining our argument, which is State Board didn't have the right or the legal authority to do that to anybody anyway in the first place. So our attorney counteracted with his argument that it's not moot because all this could happen again at any time, and we're not going to lay down for it, basically. So that's really all that happened today. So the judge has taken in the Attorney General's objection to it into account and our attorney's argument into account, and she said that she'll basically get back to everybody. So I don't know where that's going to go, but that's in a nutshell what happened today.
Nettles expressed a heartfelt appreciation to the Clinton Board of Education for their support of him and the efforts he's undertaken this school year to fight for local control.
So as you know, I've been involved in a lot of work statewide this year, from the top of the state to the bottom of the state and east and west. I've met way more superintendents than I ever thought I would meet in my career. I've communicated with them a lot, either on Zoom. I've been also in person through a different couple of programs that I'm involved in, helping with. And I've sat and listened to, just in one-on-one conversations or group conversations where it's safe to talk, the lack of respect that community members and school board members have had toward their superintendents and administrators has been awful around the state. You guys wouldn't believe the stories I've heard. There's been threats, there's been name calling, there's been belittling. It's just awful what some of my colleagues have gone through, and some of it got racial. It's just been awful. And I sit and I listen to these things, and I can't help but just say how blessed we are. So I want to just share my gratitude tonight for these 7 individuals who have made my job tremendous. Well, I was going to say easy. It hasn't been easy. But your support's been tremendous. Even though we had community that was unsure of us and what we might do, and then maybe not real patient, whatever side somebody's on. And I had things said to me that I really wish people would take back, either verbally or in print. You know, I can shrug some of that off. That's been minimal from what I've heard around the state. I'm not stereotyping the rest of the state, and we're in this little cube that didn't have any issues. I'm just saying I've been able to get up every day and do my job and do what this mission we're on to do, knowing that I've had support. We've talked everything out. Even the probably the toughest moment we had at one point in time, which you all are aware of, we did it with grace and friendship, and that just hasn't been the case everywhere. And I just think you guys should know that, and you guys should know that the Clinton School District Board of Education has integrity and operates in a mature and professional way all the time. And the vast majority of our community has also.
Nettles indicates he tries to sympathize and empathize with his peers through their experiences they have had, but he does note he cannot relate to that. High school students in an entrepreneurship program in DeWitt and Macon counties are learning life lessons through adversity. Students in the Central Illinois CEO program this semester are creating their own businesses, and the program's facilitator, Melanie Brown, told Regional Radio News on the WHOW Morning Show Thursday this is one of her favorite parts of the program, when her students, as she describes it, get to experience life real world.
From the very first day of class, these students don't know each other. Many of them have never met before because they're coming from different districts. And it's very much like you getting a job and entering the workplace, not knowing your peers or your coworkers. And so they're given a task the very first day, and it's kind of messy. And the whole idea is that they guide themselves through this process.
Right.
I am their coach and their mentor. I'm going to help them to succeed, but I will let them take a couple steps forward and maybe even be a little unsteady before I guide them along the way, so they can actually learn through the process. Actually, we had a speaker this morning, and she said to the students, which we had a great discussion afterwards, she said, as a business owner, you should expect to fail once a month. And if you aren't, then you're not learning and growing. And, so then we had the conversation about, okay, let's step back and think about that mindset. Because right now, if I told you it's okay for you to fail one test a month in school, how would you feel? And they were all like, awful. It would be the worst thing ever. But this is a totally different concept of understanding that your failures are going to help you learn and grow and move you forward in that business world, in your career. And that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
That is one of the things that I love most about the program, is because they get the opportunity to experience life real world. So the first semester, as you mentioned, is a group project. They come up with the idea, they plan it, every single component of it, and they evaluate their peers. Did you do a good job as the CFO? Did you follow through with your tasks that you were given? And it's a very interesting perspective, because they're used to being told what to do, doing it, and then having the teacher grade them. Well, they are more responsible for grading each other in that first semester. So you see a lot of growth, you see a lot of stress, but then this celebration and the win after they see what they have accomplished. And
as the school year begins to wind down, students from Blue Ridge, Clinton, Maroa, Forsyth, and Warrensburg-Latham are developing their own businesses. Brown says it's a real business with real customers, services, or goods.
The students this year, their group business was a chili cook-off and silent auction, and they net profited $6,000. A very cool experience to witness. And then that $6,000, what we do with that in this program is recirculate that back into their individual businesses. So this semester, they're doing their individual businesses. We had a banker day where they met with 3 different bankers and presented their business plans. And each of the students were awarded a $500 grant to help launch their business. When they come back from Christmas break, they are expected to have a couple ideas. And we've talked about it on and off throughout first semester about what do you think you might be interested in doing? They hear over and over from all of our speakers to make sure that you're passionate about what you do. So they write a business plan and we coach them through all the concepts of business plan, customer segments, their target audience, what channels, revenue streams, expenses, partnerships, because some of them are collaborating with other stores or coffee shops to sell their product. They have to analyze the cost analysis of, is this profitable? And even incorporate paying themselves into the equation, which made them very uncomfortable. We have a banker day, as I mentioned, and then basically they've really landed on where their finances are. And so many of them are in launching phase right now. I have a couple who have already launched their businesses publicly on Facebook and Instagram. They're taking orders, or they have dates coming up where they're going to be setting up at a coffee shop and promoting their business there. And then from here, we will have a 2-week spring break, and that's kind of their opportunity to just work on their business independently. And when we come back from that, we will have a Shark Tank event.
Along the way, students are gaining skills to help them in the development of their group business and personal business. Brown says the transformation in these students is fun to watch, especially when they can see their growth.
So the students will have the opportunity to showcase their products. One of the expectations of this semester is that they have transactions either by or on trade show date. So they will be encouraged to create tons of product to sell on trade shows. So it's a great opportunity for anyone listening to come by, buy their cookies, buy their cups and their other products, and get to know the students and see what they've accomplished. And that is one of my greatest moments. It's like when I step back and I think about where the students started on day one to now. And that's one of the things that they even pick up on, the level of confidence, their ability to speak in front of people, their ability to walk up to an adult and shake their hand and introduce themselves and have an engaging conversation. And it's just remarkable to see that growth. And a lot of our investors will meet the students early on in the school year and then come back for the trade show. And it's easy to be sold on the program when you see the progress and the impact you're making in these students' lives.
Brown indicates a lot of life lessons are learned when the students are putting together their group businesses or their businesses and things are not going their way. She often has to step back and allow them to problem solve on their own.
So there's a couple things that I would love to mention with that. One of the things is the structure of the class. We have classroom days on Mondays and Fridays. I try to bookend our week on Mondays where we meet, we discuss what we're going to be doing that week, what speakers we're going to hear, what things we might learn, think of questions to ask those speakers so we're prepared. And then on Fridays, we do a retrospective, which is a reflection. In the retrospective, I have the students go around and just say, what did we do well? What do we need to improve upon? And then how are we going to improve upon that? One of the questions that I asked them is, how did we produce the WHOW? That is part of the CEO language. The idea of producing the WHOW, not as in, wow, that's awful, but wow, that's amazing. You are impressive. You are doing a great job. And even producing the WHOW doesn't always mean you get a home run the first time you're up to bat, right? So them asking themselves those questions every single week, they submit journals and they are asked that in their journal every week. How did you produce the WHOW? And so giving them that mindset and that language to challenge themselves every single day to produce the WHOW when they show up. In addition to that, though, I can think of a couple specifics of how we work on that whole component of resilience. I am their coach and their mentor, and it would be so easy for me to step in and say, this is how you need to do it. Because if I'm honest, that's my character. So I'm learning and growing in this process as well.
For Brown, when the students approach her about a problem, hoping for a solution, she has to ask, what do you think? And says that can often lead to her students unlocking the gifts they have. She calls it an exciting process and program to be a part of. You can learn more about the Central Illinois CEO program by visiting centralillinoisceo.com or by finding them on Facebook and Instagram. It is 23 minutes after the hour here on this Friday morning. Again, we start the day under cloudy skies, temperatures in Clinton at 49 degrees. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Peking Insurance agent in Clinton, and coverage of news today is brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters. More to come on the morning show.
New trucks and SUVs are coming here at Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton. This is Scott Baum. Yes, we have new inventory arriving, and you can see what will arrive right on our website. Just click on the pre-order and reserve tab. From there, you will find vehicles in transit and vehicles in production. Or just call our sales staff and we'll help. Find Silverados, Equinoxes, Blazers, including Tahoes and Suburbans, as well as our complete Buick line of SUVs. BaumChevyBuick.com. Right from the start.
24 minutes after the hour this morning. Again, I'm Seth Lawrence with you folks today for this expanded local newscast. The nationwide issue with the supply chain is affecting the fruit and vegetable markets and making it harder to get fresh fruits and vegetables. OSF healthcare dietitian Sarah Umfleet has a solution. Canned fruits and vegetables. You might think canned veggies and canned fruits aren't good for you, but she has a few tips to make sure your canned foods are as nutritious as possible.
So what I recommend for like fruits and vegetables, let's say you don't see your favorite fresh fruit or vegetable at the store anymore, you could definitely go with some canned or frozen versions. Easy things that you can throw in your casseroles. A lot of times people think canned or frozen are less healthful and maybe not nutritious as much as your fresh ones, and that's not true. So if you go with canned fruit, what I do recommend is making sure it's in its own juice. So making sure it's 100% fruit juice. Avoid those things that say heavy syrup, light syrup, because those are just added sugars. Also with your canned veggies, make sure you're looking for something that says like low sodium or reduced sodium. Those are perfectly fine to do. And then if you can't find any low sodium, reduced sodium, or, at the food pantry right now, there's a lot of canned vegetables that aren't low sodium or reduced sodium. So what you want to do is you just want to rinse off and drain that excess sodium in there before cooking. So what I say is rinse it off at least twice, and that will eliminate about 50% of that sodium in that can.
Sarah also notes that canned fruits and vegetables can also tend to be a little higher on the wallet as well. Heartland Community College has received a $2 million donation from the McLean County Farm Bureau to help construct a new ag facility in Normal. The donation will be used for the development of a flexible learning lab for Heartland students, as well as community groups and K-12 students. Heartland's Director of Public Information, Steve Fast, says the donation is the first substantial local investment in the project.
The reason that we have decided to create this facility and seek the funding to do so is because we hear from all of our partners in industry, we need more of this. There are great ag education opportunities at four-year colleges. There are some great secondary school ag programs in the area, but the missing piece really is being to upscale what we can do at the community college level.
The McLean County Farm Bureau Instructional Lab will be housed within Heartland's planned ag facility, which will be built on the west side of Rab Road in Normal. Heartland anticipates breaking ground on the $20 million facility later this spring with a projected completion date of 2023. Illinois House Democrats have put together new legislation addressing the war on Ukraine. Bill sponsor Representative Lindsay LaPointe of Chicago says this is one of the most comprehensive state responses to the war.
It puts Illinois on a path to divest from Russian stocks and sovereign debt, including money that's in the teachers' retirement system and funds that the Illinois State Board of Investment oversees. Russia's war ally, Belarus, is also targeted for divestment in this bill.
The measure also creates a Ukrainian refugee settlement program and sets up a state money laundering and real estate task force to weed out illicit connections to Russia.
Making it easier to provide healthcare, mental health services, and English language assistance to Ukrainian nationals who are granted temporary protected status or refugee status.
The measure sets up a money laundering and real estate task force. House Republicans have introduced similar legislation in response to the war. This is Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Week. The exact cause of the disease is not yet known, and there is no cure yet, says Representative Katie Stewart of Collinsville. She's sponsoring a House resolution recognizing the event.
The goals of Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Week and Day are to invite people to join the movement to end MS and to acknowledge those who have dedicated time and talent to help promote MS research and programs.
Representative Carol Ammons of Urbana has seen the toll of MS firsthand.
Unfortunately, my daughter was diagnosed with MS just 2 years ago. She lost her vision. She lost mobility in the right side of her body. We had absolutely no idea how or why it was happening.
According to the Greater Illinois chapter of the National MS Society, the disease may cause many symptoms, including fatigue, dizziness, trouble walking, vision problems, and cognitive challenges. Coverage of news on this Friday morning is brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and the WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peking Insurance, Peterson Insurance, your Peking Insurance agent.